between the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Cleveland Browns. And what that means is I get an early start to reporting it because I work nights. What's up, everyone? It is Josh here from No Buts About It. This video is going to be about the second big trade between the Cleveland Browns and the Jacksonville Jaguars this season. If you'll recall, they did a trade on draft night for the Jacksonville Jaguars to get Travis Hunter. The Browns ended up with Mason Graham. Now we've got a bit of a weird one. This one was one that it came in as I was going to work, and I texted a bunch of my friends who were Browns fans, and I said, "This doesn't make sense. Why would you guys do this? Can you explain it to me?" And honestly, they couldn't either. So during my break at work, I did some research, and that's what this video is going to kind of be. It's going to be me trying to explain why these teams would trade two players that are pretty much the same caliber and the same position. What did either one gain from this? Who made this phone call? What does either gain from this? So maybe you're watching and you're like, hey, I've already figured this out. Maybe you'll learn something new. So just make sure you stay tuned. Also, before we get started, the last full episode from yesterday, I feel so bad about this. I hate it because that was such a fun episode. I hate it for you guys. The audio was just crap. I'm hoping the video that I'm recording right now is a lot better. I'm going to watch it back and I'll re-record it, try to some other stuff. I think I fixed the problem, but we'll see. Without further ado, let's get into the Cleveland Browns and the Jacksonville Jaguars trade. So first off, what was the trade specifically? Well, Cleveland Browns are receiving Tyson Campbell and a 2026 seventh round pick. The Jacksonville Jaguars will be receiving Greg Newsome II and a 2026 sixth round pick. So both of these guys are cornerbacks. Both of them are from the same draft class. Both of them are the same age. There's a ton of similarities that we have here. So the Browns selected Greg Newsome. He's 25 years old, 26th overall in 2021. He's currently playing on a fifth-year option that is worth $13.38 million. Okay. So then what is Tyson Campbell doing? Tyson Campbell, again, also 25 years old, taken in the same draft. He was taken 33rd overall in 2021. He's playing on a 4-year, $76.5 million, $53.4 million guaranteed deal that he signed in 2024 under GM Trent Baalke. And that is important. That's going to come up later. So remember that Trent Baalke is the Jaguars GM that extended Tyson Campbell. Right now, Tyson Campbell, he has 600 would be awesome. He has 6 pass breakups, 34 tackles this season. In his career, he has played in 60 games. And that's about where Greg Newsome is. They're very similar players, very similar level players. Both even have injury histories. That was something I looked at because I knew Tyson Campbell had missed some games because of a hamstring. And I could also remember Greg Newsome missing some games. But they're pretty balanced. At different points, they miss different amounts of games, but they are very, very similar. So that was even more confusing. Campbell is traditionally a very stellar run defender. That's what his bread and butter is. He's an average pass defender, though. He's can be a liability in coverage, and especially this year, he has struggled against some of the offenses that the Jaguars have had to play. And he's not a Gladstone guy. Keep that in mind. I'm going to keep repeating that because that's going to come up here at the end. James Gladstone, if you don't know, is the Jaguars' new GM. He's the guy here, if you're looking at your screen on the left. He's 34 years old, young, wonderkin type guy who's been making all types of aggressive moves in his first year as the Jaguars GM. And they also have the first-year head coach, Liam Cohen. So far, it has been going well. They've only lost one game, and they're coming off a win to the Chiefs. Now, let's look at Newsome. Greg Newsome is another guy who he has struggled. He struggled last season because he got moved to nickel. And he was brought in as an outside guy, played that his rookie year, but then the Browns drafted Martin Emerson. And so they moved Greg Newsome from outside into the nickel, and it wasn't great for him. He did okay. I'm not saying he was bad by any means, but he definitely wasn't comfortable. Then Emerson had a season-ending injury during training camp, which allowed for Greg Newsome to move back outside. He has 3 passes defended, 23 tackles, and two of those are tackles for a loss in 5 starts. And he's been very vocal about the fact he wants to stay in Cleveland. He did not want to leave Cleveland. He loves Cleveland. He wants to be with this team. He loves this team because he knew he was going to be a free agent next season. And he said that. And he even said that when he announced that he was leaving. He said, I love Cleveland. So this wasn't a situation where Greg Newsome was saying, hey, I want out of here. This was a situation where he was saying, I want to stay, and he just happened to get traded anyway. So both of these teams are trading mainstays on their defense. Oh, and one other thing I wanted to mention. Andrew Berry, he drafted Greg Newsome. So this isn't the same situation that the Jaguars have. This is an Andrew Berry guy that he traded away. He traded away his own guy. It makes it a little bit harder, but it is different from what Jacksonville has, where that attachment isn't there. Okay. So both of these teams are getting rid of mainstays on very good defenses. Neither of these defenses are struggling. The Jaguars have put together a phenomenal first 5 games on defense. I think they have the most turnovers in the NFL. I need to check that stat. But they have done so well. And the Browns have consistently, for the last few seasons, had a very good defense. And Greg Newsome has been a part of that. And so why are you getting rid of players that are good or have been core elements of these defenses that are good? These defenses aren't the reason you're losing games. It's certainly not the reason the Cleveland Browns have the record they have. Well, let's look at it this way. If I am Jacksonville, I have Tyson Campbell, and he's been struggling this year. And if I'm James Gladstone, this is a guy that I didn't even sign. Trent Baalke gave him this extension. Trent Baalke drafted this guy, and he has now given me this contract of this guy that's underperforming. He is underperforming his contract, and I don't know that he's going to bounce back. Maybe he will next season. Maybe he'll bounce back later this season. But I need to win now because I only have 1 loss. And I'm in the AFC South. And the Colts are playing pretty well too. And they only have 1 loss. But the rest of the AFC, they're weak. The Ravens are injured. We just beat the Chiefs. The Bengals don't have Joe Burrow. This conference is wide open for a playoff spot. That number 1 position, yeah, the Bills are the lucky favorites, but hey, no one expected us to be where we're at right now. So I need a guy who can play now and who, yeah, maybe I'll have to extend him, but Greg Newsome is going to play well now. He's going to play that outside corner position well. I know what type of player he is. And if he balls out, then I'll probably have to extend him. I'll accept that. I'll accept that risk. But if he sucks, I can just let him go. He's going to be a free agent after this season. I have no investment into this. The only investment I have into this, if I'm James Gladstone, is a 2026 6th round pick. Tyson Campbell wasn't my guy. That wasn't my contract. I don't have anything in this trade if Greg Newsome doesn't work out. Now let's switch over to the Browns side of things. Yeah, our defense has been good. Jim Schwartz, he's been killing it as the defensive coordinator. We love him. He loves Greg Newsome, I'm sure. But the fact of the matter is the offense isn't quite there. We don't know that Dylan Gabriel is the answer. We just traded away Joe Flacco to the Bengals. Maybe we're hoping Dylan Gabriel is the answer, but ultimately we aren't planning for the now in the same way that the Jacksonville Jaguars are. And we can theoretically get a guy who is the same level of Greg Newsome for cheaper because he's already been extended. That market hasn't been reset yet in Tyson Campbell's contract. Greg Newsome is the same, very similar type of player as Tyson Campbell. Sure, they have their differences. They have their slight differences. They're better at different things. But Greg Newsome's going to be more expensive. And are those slight differences worth how much more I'm going to have to pay for Greg Newsome? Apparently, Andrew Berry doesn't think so. Would even be better is I trust Jim Schwartz. Jim Schwartz has made guys look great. He's made some of my riskiest defensive picks become part of a core unit that has stopped some of the best passing offenses in the NFL, namely the Bengals, my division rivals. So I can not only get a 7th round pick who I'm not really, that's not what I'm super invested in. But I can make a lateral move at outside corner, and I already have Denzel Ward. I'm making that lateral move, getting Tyson Campbell, and he's already locked down for the next 2-3 seasons, depending how you count it. And I am going to start building on offense. I don't have to worry about that Greg Newsome contract now. This was actually a very good trade. The Browns are able to solve a cap issue while hopefully maintaining the same level of talent on their defense if they trust their quarterback. This trade wasn't just, two teams seemingly just, trading for the sake of trading. If you look at the context of where these two teams are, this trade makes a ton of sense for both of them. And that's something I missed initially. I was just like, okay. But this trade can elevate the Jacksonville Jaguars. It changes their culture. It helps James Gladstone further establish himself as a good GM. But it also allows the Cleveland Browns to begin to develop their offense, to build something around, whether it be Dylan Gabriel or Shador Sanders. Allow that defense to be further cemented so you don't have to worry about it. You've already got your main guy, Myles Garrett, figured out. You drafted Mason Graham. You still have a few questions, but now you have the outside corner spots locked down with Denzel Ward and Tyson Campbell. I think that this was a good trade. Let me know what you think down below. Once again, I am so sorry about the audio on the full episodes and the clips from that episode. Hopefully this video sounds a lot better. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. It takes you literally 2 seconds, but it helps us out so much. Please also like this video and share it if you have friends who are Cleveland Browns or Jacksonville Jaguars fans. And I'd love for them to comment. Let me know what they think. I usually try to respond to comments as well. So let's discuss this trade down below. And until next time, go do something nice for someone.